I guess everything's a slaughter, and I don't have to worry about anything other than me. Because it's all about me. Who cares about anyone else? If all I have to do is make children cry and make men scared and make mothers die. Oh, it's great to be me. And when I have that occasional child that I decided to bond with, and it turns out they know things better than I do, well, now I have to kill him, because it's only one brain in this house there is, and the only brain you'll listen to is mine, it is. And if you say I did this, and if it sounds too bad, I'll just deny it and smile. But trust me, it's all right in here. And I just want you to know, I just keep everything you hold close. And I burn it because I have no land of my own. That was my little just off the cuff song about the Epstein files from their point of view, about how they do these horrible things and it makes them happy. And I imagine that's like, while they're doing these things, they're like, yeah, I love killing babies that have yet to even know what it means to live. I won't even give them that chance. Why should I? Oh, by the way, you know how to make the best race? Sorry, this comedy isn't going good. I can't do racist comedy. Ugh. Pedophilia and like incest and rape comedy, it's more relatable to me. So, in the sense that like, relatable as being in the receiving end of it, you know. But I don't know, I can't really joke about racism. But the reason why I bring up racism is because in the Epstein files, one of the beautiful souls that, this blows my mind, that still found the strength to look at all of this and try to make sense of it, even though it makes no fucking sense what these grown adults have done to little children. There's like so many things. But the one that I was, before I got off track, she talks about how, you know, Jeffrey talks about a superior race, and, or she doesn't use the word superior. I'd have to go back to her actual diary and see the actual word she used. And it's going to be important with the way that she described it, because it's going to be more like, you know, however the person that was at the receiving end of these things describes these things, that's how it fucking happened. Okay? But the point I'm trying to make is it seems that Jeffrey was really into creating his own kin that would be the best kin in the world. Because of course you're going to be the best and completely not have brain rot or depression or hysteria or psychosis from watching babies die and watching rape. Like that wouldn't affect a superior race at all. Like, they're so brain dead. They're so fucking brain dead. Anyway, so I bring this up because it was weird to me that in the Epstein files, there's multiple emails about sending 23andMe kits, over 30 of them, over not just one little kit, like, oh, where am I from? I want to know what country I come from while I'm raping the kids you give me. That's a fun bonding experience, Jeffrey. Get me some 23andMe kits. No. The 23andMe kit, I'm under the impression that they probably used those kits on the children that they raped and then the babies that those children have. I think they used those kits for that. And if he's sending 30 kits per person, or I'm sorry, I shouldn't say per person. On one of the emails, it was 30 kits to the island. I apologize. 30 kits to the island. But I believe there was a single person that also requested 30 kits. And when I was reading that, I'm like, that's just so weird. Why are you doing that? It's because they want to see what their genes say. They want to look at their genetics. They have completely crossed out the soul so much. They're completely looking at the biology and the genetics of how a child is going to come into this world and how they will be the very best because I created it. Like, dude, the world hates you because you make kids cry. I know that you and like your buddies love that, and your girlfriends, some of them love that. But for most of us, that means you're a pussy. Did you know that? That means that you never developed emotionally, but you unfortunately were born. And so the older you got, you tried to grasp understanding of the world around you and decided, the world is pretty hard, and I'm just going to take it out on little kids and little girls. Yes, that is how I will fulfill my dream. Alrighty. 23andMe. Got that going on. And then you got Mr. Seven Chins over here. Mr. Still as Ham over here. Mr. Individual that when a child was only 7 years old, this is in the files, he made her vagina bleed because he bit it so severely. Just so you know, the man who I'm about to say who has all this money, was like besties with Epstein. Leon Black, besties with Epstein. Leon has over $13.5 billion, okay? Did you hear that? $13.5 billion, okay? Now, I don't know about you guys, but the point of a free country, the point of a free country is that no matter how rich you get, no matter how much you discover, no matter if you discovered up quarks and down quarks, no matter if you discovered quantum field theory, no matter if you decided to run an orphanage, no matter what you decide to do with your life, the laws are supposed to treat everybody the same, right? That doesn't happen though, does it? That doesn't happen. That does not happen. But if you make a bunch of little kids have your babies and raise them very sheltered, and you're like, hey, if you ever leave, I'm just gonna chop your head off, and then rape you again, like I've always been doing, for as long as they're doing that, that's all they want to do. They don't want to do anything else. Like, this is all they have figured out in life, that it becomes their everything. I just want to take a second to just I don't even know what your word to fucking use. How incredible the human mind and body is. That to those that have begun to hate themselves and thus hate innocent ones that are right out there and that are just minding their fucking business, that's all you will ever reach. Like, that's all you'll ever go. Sorry, I'm not making sense. What I'm trying to say is, if you've raped a child, that is the highest you'll ever go. That's the highest you'll ever know. And like Jeffrey and a lot of pedophiles, they take a lot of pride in the fact that they know so much about the world. They figured some really cool mathematical thing out, or something like very intricate about the world. We're supposed to be whole, and we're supposed to kind of have an understanding and a grasp on everything around us. When you're a pedophile, you're only going to remain in the knowledge that you get from a book, and then the joy that you get from raping a kid. There's a greater peace of mind and light and glory within those that don't do those things. And it's something that they'll just never know. So, and it's just important to bring that up, because we have to understand that these people that did this to these children, they have been going to extreme lengths to not only hide what they've done, but to clad themselves in a family that uplifts them and will never question them, because if they do, they might die. They might commit suicide, right? So, it's very grim and horrific what has happened to these innocent girls and boys. I say boys because I know that the Epstein files, it doesn't mention, it does mention men. Yes, it is girls and boys, because, it was both. So yeah, I'm correct in saying that they harmed women, or they harmed girls and boys. You see, what they've done is so horrible that we can't become numb to action. Okay? The horrible things that they've done are going to manifest in this world in a way that we have to be aware of that and handle it accordingly. You little spider. What I mean by that is, there used to be a time where pedophiles feared to even utter a word of what they've done. Or they wouldn't even partake in the act because the thought alone is so horrific. There was a time when that was a thing, okay? I don't know if y'all believe me, and anyone that grows up in abuse, you don't really believe that. You think people must just be born behaving that way. When you individuate from these horrible people, you will discover that that was never a natural thing to do to begin with, and that your being will always alert you when something is out of whack. Okay? Okay? What Epstein and what many men and women have done to small children, that tells me that this world, and I say world because men and women from all different parts of the country, I shouldn't say all, but from different parts of the country were involved in this. We're not a free country, guys. If children are being raped, we're not a free country. How can I go about, I haven't eaten days, y'all. How can I go about my day all happy and free and fine, knowing that there are people that are in a position of authority, and instead of making things bright, they're just doing horrific things? Guys, I kept wondering to myself, what is this? Why does this happen? What does this all fucking mean? Why? And it's a war on consciousness. When our mind, body, and spirit is completely whole and conscious, we see the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, even if it's horrible. But if you can twist consciousness a little bit, if you can, rape a child from very early on, make them think that this is just natural, this is all part of it. And if you go out into the real world, they'll just do that to you too. To rape a child is to rape their consciousness. It is to take away their sense of time. It's to take away their sense of self. It is to take away their sense of feeling. And this isn't the driving factor, I don't think, but I think a lot of pedophiles do this because if they can be in the presence of a human being, that they are more powerful, that the pedophile is more powerful than the individual in the room. It gives them this illusion that they can be powerful in the outside world. So to kind of further break this down, what I'm trying to say is, so something that Carl Jung has stated before, and I want to say that I fucking love Carl Jung and he's changed my life, but we have to acknowledge that Carl Jung did rape Sabina Spellman. She literally wrote it in a letter to her mom. So as much as Carl Jung has helped me, I also had to look even deeper at myself and all that the world exists of, because I was still getting advice from a rapist. I don't want to shit on Carl Jung. He's done brilliant work. But while we're on this topic of, sexual abuse, I can't quote a man and then not acknowledge that he's hurt a woman. Now, he's never raped a child, at least I don't think, but still, he's raped a woman. Not a woman. He raped a brilliant, genius, courageous, woman that was raped by her father. And she was doing such intense inner work that the work she did helped Carl's work. However, at some point, Carl did rape her. And this is something that so many women go through, is we bond with someone. And it's so rich and fulfilling when you can connect and expand with another person. But when they violate you like that, it's such a letdown that it's like, what was the point of any of that, Like, what? And, people that have raped others, all they have to do is ask themselves, hey, if I was enjoying myself, tummy on the ground, ass up, tanning in the sun, minding my business, and some big old hairy gross man came up and started raping me, would I just say that that's natural? Would I, the thing that these men do to children and to women and to men, other men, it's just crazy, what I'm trying to get out of me is when you consider things from your point of view, really from your soul's point of view, feelings, senses, all of that, there's a magic in there that you get because you're connected to the universe. You fucking get it. Your emotional feels fucking grasp it. And I want to say that those of us that have been abused or been through something horrific when we were little, that stays with us until we're able to look at it. And how can you know to look at it if you don't remember it happened to you? And if you do start to remember what happened to you, who can you trust around you? Okay? If someone has billions of dollars, don't you think they can just buy the fanciest house with the fanciest of things, right? What better way to trick and confuse the souls of those that you took than by giving them a place to stay, food to eat, but then just raping them whenever you want? But because you took them when they were pretty young, they're likely not going to escape. Because remember, it's a war on consciousness. Anyway, so Leon Black, Epstein, besties. Black has a whole bunch of money. Billions and billions and billions. Who's to say you can't just start your own cult? If these men really find pleasure in raping kids all day, why not start a whole family and just do that? That's what they're doing, guys. Found out about Epstein and all the people that he knows. All that tells us is that with Epstein being gone, someone else just took his place. Because another thing in the logs, in the Epstein files, is there are messages talking about having basically children shipped. And they're saying how certain airlines are going to approve this package. What idiot would let a package onto a plane without inspecting it? Nobody. Nobody would do that because you would be putting so many people's lives at risk. Unless you're in on the game. You're in on people being trafficked. Okay? It doesn't begin or end with Epstein. He is just one smear of shit. And there is diarrhea, like, everywhere. And our country needs to fucking do something about it. Because this isn't a free America. If children are being raped and kept for labor and whatever else, and never being allowed to... Another thing that's just really disgusting about the files is you can just read and see how controlling Epstein is when he speaks to the women. When he speaks to the girls. My brain, like, is refusing to acknowledge that, like, they were children, because it's just like, why the fuck? But they were children. If you encountered something abusive in your life when you were a child, and if you blocked it, when you're an adult, you won't see it, even if it's right in front of you, because you blocked it. It's blocked. And if you do see it, you don't grasp its severity. It's kind of lost to you. Its initial pain and meaning doesn't quite make sense to you. When you bring light to the things that happened to you as a child, slowly but surely, you will acknowledge what happened to you. And I don't really know how to fully describe it, but it's almost as if your conscious self has to go back to those horrific things. Witness it as you are today, and the fragmented pieces suddenly are coming together. Because I realized, like maybe 15 years ago, it's not just about the abuse that a person encounters that affects how much your spirit goes dormant. I don't want to say dies, because your spirit really does just go dormant. I say that because things that are done to you will completely shut you off, and you think there will be nothing within you, and you'll think that this is just what is going on in here. But trust me, your being remembers everything, every single thing. Again, remember, war on consciousness. If you bring the horrible things that have happened to you to light in your mind and remember them on your own terms, don't do it on anyone else's terms, on you. Because when you do it on your terms, you're telling yourself, we'll look at it when we're ready. Okay? When consent was taken from you, the way to reclaim that back is to have consent for yourself. So take your time. It will be revealed to you. If you're in a safe place, it'll totally be revealed to you. If you're in a not so safe place, it'll be revealed to you based off of what you may need in that moment. But until you're in a more safe environment, I don't think you fully recover everything that happened to you, because you can't just look at these horrible things and then things be horrible out here as well. And like, you have to survive first and foremost. So if you're going to look at something horrible, something has to be stable out here first. And that's what kind of affects memory and all of that. Because, you know, again, I'm going to reference Carl Jung. It's not that we forget something, it just simply goes behind something else. And I found that absolutely to be true. So, a way that we can help ourselves, and I think fight against pedophiles without going completely fucking dingbat crazy, which is horrible to say because, like, just the thought that someone's doing this to one person should make us want to rally and want to murder every single one of them. That actually sounds really nice. Saying that out loud, that sounds really, really nice. Imagine a world with no pedophiles, guys. Doesn't that sound amazing? These people are expecting to live. They want to live. Because if they die, what if God is real? What if they actually do have to face what they've done? These bitches that always hurt women and kids, they're always like, I gotta live forever! I must live forever! Ah! And it's like, just enjoy the moment. Why can't you enjoy the moment? So yeah, not to like make everyone's day worse or like further traumatize everybody, but I think that we should educate ourselves on, not educate ourselves, I take that back. Well, yes, we should educate ourselves. Connect with our intuition again. Connect with our gut again. Connect with, something's not right here. Let me take a minute, you know? War on consciousness means you want to make everything fast. You want to make everything go so fast that nobody consciously knows what's going on. And so you can do whatever you want and rape people because no one's really looking at what you're doing. Whatever you do, and if someone else does the same thing, you guys see the same world. Okay? You ever wonder how, like, us sweetie patootie pies run into other sweetie patootie pies? And these horrible men don't? Except for the children that they've fucking stolen. That does not count, because they stole them and they were children. Okay? That's like, if you have to make someone that doesn't even, that hasn't even touched the grass, you know, because they were rapey babies as well. You just can't really comment on life itself, you know. You can't handle life. Pedophiles can't handle life so badly. They can't connect what is different from them so badly that they have to just like go and create their own little colony of people with their own fucked up philosophies, and they think if they can talk to a bunch of rich, educated other men that know things about certain subjects like longevity or like quantum mechanics or all these things, that they're gonna be just fine. But y'all, they got no idea how much the universe is gonna fuck them in the ass. They got no idea. Pedophiles think they know things, but they only know of a depraved world. What is weird to me, what's kind of confusing to me, is these powerful men, they discuss quantum mechanics stuff. And like one of the biggest fucking things in quantum mechanics is just the act of looking at something changes it. Okay? Okay? The electron, if you want to see if it's going to travel as a wave or a particle, if you want to see which form it's going to take, and you want to put a camera to record that, to be like, hey, is this electron going to travel as a wave? Or is it going to travel as a particle? I want to see. Let me record it. It just did it. It acted like a particle and a wave. This electron just acted like a particle and a wave. That's fucking crazy. That's crazy. Let me see why it does that. What goes on? Let me put a camera up. See what happens. I'm talking about the double slit experiment, by the way. Let's see what happens. What? When I put a camera to the electron, it doesn't show me that it does that thing where it can be in two places at once. It doesn't show that to me? No, because you're watching it. Why do men think they can play and become God when electrons won't even show you what the fuck their true nature is? They don't even want you to know. It's just funny to me. Like, people will dive into knowledge so deeply, learn so much about the world, and they'll think that that knowledge, that they came up with it somehow, that they hadn't absorbed it. And it's like, just because you absorb something doesn't mean that you intimately know it. You know? I don't know, it's just crazy. Like, to have all that money, to have all these experiences you could have, and you just want to, like, rape kids.